Hey, welcome everybody. It's your Sports Guy Clif here right at BVN at 8. Now, you know, I love giving it to y'all from the Skybox, but sometimes I have to go out and find some people that y'all need to see and people that I need to interview. And today I have the pleasure of having Mr. Jonas Crafts with us here today. How you doing, sir?
Good. Yourself?
Okay, tell the people a little bit about yourself and probably one of the reasons why I'm interviewing you today.
Yeah. My name is Jonas Crafts. I'm here in San Antonio, Texas. My background is professional football. I played with the Philadelphia Eagles. What we're really learning today here at St. Philip's College is, just kind of going through CTE and really just the prevalence of where it's at right now. And, back when I was playing and we didn't really know much about it. And I kind of remember that in like 2003, 2004. That's when it got a little tighter. And they started making us go do prerequisites before the season even started. And what is all this for? We didn't realize what was really going on, what was really going on the science and on the back end of what was really happening to our brains. So, that's why I'm here today, just to kind of really focus on that and really understand that more and kind of give people my personal point of view.
Absolutely. So tell me this right here. When you say that y'all were doing that testing starting around 2003, did you see any changes in equipment? Like now when I watch football, you would see things like everybody had all the same helmet all the time. Now you see these helmets that have different types of crevices and grooves and different shapes. Did you see any changes in equipment after that testing around 2003?
There was, because you mentioned it, it was the old Rydell helmets that were just
right.
Bald, nothing with them. And now we have all these new grooves, we have new face masks, they're lighter so that they won't bring as much of an impact. Because again, if you can add in another pound when you're bringing all your weight into somebody and you're unleashing in them, and that's hitting the brain, it's a scary thing. So, equipment is trying to do what it can. But still, if you're 250 pounds and I run at you a million miles an hour, equipment can only do so much, right? So, but I do think that we're not only getting it with the equipment, but just with the understanding of pulling the guy out immediately. Right. That's the big part.
Okay, so let me ask you this right here. I know that, from your days at UTEP and even with the Eagles and even probably before then, knowing that you had a projection of being a professional football player, at any time that you played, did you ever say to yourself, man, maybe I need to sit this one out in terms of your long-term health?
Never. It was one of those things. It was, you couldn't show a sign of weakness. And, that's how I was kind of brought up as well. It's just rub some dirt on it, get back in there. Oh, you just got a little snot knocker, get back in there. Great, you're seeing some birds, now you're playing football, get back in there. Everything was to get back in there. And now, like I said, with science, I think we're really learning to say, well, hold on, let's make sure it's safe for you to get back in there so that way you can have a long career. Not only that, but after your career, that you can live a fruitful life. Okay,
so we talked a little bit about some of the process as far as getting the player off the field once we realize that he's had a hard hit, and this could be in any sport. And we talked a little bit about equipment. What other things that supports the science do you think that needs to happen in contact sports that can probably bring down the issues with CTE?
I love sports, and I would never say let's bring anything away from the sport. And I understand completely, especially in football, going what we would call back in the day headhunters. Right. Because we would go for the head. We didn't realize, but it was, hey, if I can knock you out of the game, you won't be there anymore. We have a better chance of winning. That was really kind of the thought process back then. You saw guys doing it, headhunters, and as soon as a guy would go up for a catch, they would go right at the head. But it's really, let's focus and try and keep any and every game safer. But at the end of the day, we're athletes. We're going to go a million miles an hour. Accidents are going to happen, right? I could say the same thing about you getting in your car every day. Accidents will happen every day in somebody's car, but we don't say, well, what can we do to do we stop driving? Right. No, so we still play, and we just have to understand and try and take as many preventative measures, I believe, to not allow that to happen. But when it does happen, we just need to, get that player off the court, off the field immediately, so that way we can evaluate and see what's going on.
Okay, so the last question, I'm pretty sure this is not the first or the last time that you will be representing and speaking on this subject. How have people received you and your angle and some from your experiences with the NFL and playing football? How have you been received by the public?
It's completely different, because when you have scientists that we're listening to in here, and the scientist is going to go very deep, but then what I can bring is really the realism of what it is, and just say, we still want to go out there and we still want to play this game called football or basketball or hockey. Every single sport, when you're playing at a high level, guys are moving a million miles an hour. And so really it's bringing the realism of it and saying, you know what, it's something that we need to learn as a community. And if we can learn it, we can be better prepared for it in the future. And I think that's something really big, is if we can prepare for it, we can take preventative measures, then we won't have to focus on too much reactive measures. So it's really just going out there and having fun. And when people see me and hear me, it's something different than listening to a professor. It's a little bit more fun, it's a little bit more real, and I get to tell some fun stories. And so, but just I want to keep it as real and really as fun as it can be, so that way we can have professional sports continue for a long time.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I'd like to thank you for your time, spending here with us at BVN, man, and thanks for the insight. Because there's a lot of people out there, from the mother of the Pop Warner player all the way up to somebody who's had a grown son play and may be looking at some of the effects that they're having. People like you are bringing a wider expansion of knowledge, and I appreciate you for that. And for you out there, I always want you to stay tuned in to the Skybox. Again, I know I'm not there today, but I'll be back there next time. And as always, your sports guy Clif, bringing you the hottest news in sports, signing off from St. Philip's College right here in San Antonio, Texas. See you next time.